Okay, real proud of our team. Convincing win. That's a quality opponent. They got good players. That's a Hall of Fame coach. He's won 2 national championships. It was a good measuring stick of where our guys are. They put the game away early. I think offense scored on 6 or 7 drives, something like that in the first half. Take away the penalties. We overcame some of the penalties early, but 5 penalties on offense. That's really, we got to correct that. And there's only 1 penalty on defense. The defense had 2 interceptions. I don't think they got across midfield, I think, until late once we put some of our threes in with that. But overall, dominant performance. We talked about improving from game 1 to game 2. We did that. So we're progressing in the right way. We still got things we got to clean up. There's no doubt about that. But when you're able to run the football effectively like we ran the football, that really helps. We hit a couple explosive passes. I think we had the one that we caught, but it called a face mask on and all that. But, we threw it down the field some, and the defense did a good job of controlling, a pretty solid offense. Questions?
Coach, you talked about improving from game 1 to game 2. Did you like what you saw from KJ Jefferson shaking off that rust from last week and particularly improving in the passing game?
Yeah, there's no doubt. He's settling down. He's understanding the offense. He ran the ball extremely hard, been physical on our power read early on. He threw the ball vertically down the field very good, and of course we figured that would happen. So yeah, we're real pleased with his performance. And like I said, when you can run the football like we've been able to run the football the last 2 games, that opens up everything.
Gus, how would you assess R.J. Harvey's performance? Again, another night where you were able to get him out there and get him going early on.
Yeah, zone runner. He's as good a zone runner probably there is in college football with his patience and his vision and everything that goes with it. So he had a big time night. Miles had a big time night, again. And then Penny, he's getting used to the offense and got in there late, and you can see he can really impose his will downhill too.
Coach, you mentioned one of the earlier drives. I think it was the opening drive. The O-line had the back-to-back penalties, and you got some of it back. And then on 3rd and 9, KJ Jefferson delivers the pass to complete that first down. Obviously, you want to avoid the penalties, but how valuable is it to see him connect on those money downs with a longer distance?
It was good, and you want to get off to a good start. Obviously, we took the ball. When you take the ball, you need to go down and score. We had some penalties right there we had to overcome, but our guys hung in there. They handled themselves well. And, there's still a lot of stuff we got to improve on, okay? But we did improve from game 1 to game 2. And like I said, we beat a quality opponent pretty soundly, and so I'm really pleased.
Coach, a couple of turnovers, but not only that, points off of those turnovers.
Yeah.
Discuss the importance of that.
Yeah, we got veteran guys. Two transfer veteran guys played a lot of football, and they picked the ball off, and they ran it after they picked it off too. So real proud of those guys.
Coach, New Hampshire, Sam Houston State, those are teams you guys are supposed to beat. You got Big 12 opponent coming up next. What have you guys learned from these opponents, and what can you take into playing a higher quality opponent?
Yeah, there's no doubt. TCU, they're a really quality opponent. I think everybody knows that. So we go on the road the first test. That's a big challenge for our guys. We got to raise our level. There's no doubt about it. But it's good that we know what we do know from these first 2 games. Our guys, they're going to know we're going to have to raise our level. That's part of conference play, and going to a place on the road that played for a national championship 2 years ago. And, in one of those, either rivals or 24/7, they got, as much talent as anybody in our league, as far as all that goes. Their coach is really good, too, so that'll be a great challenge for us.
Coach, you talked earlier this week about finding options in the kickoff game. You ended up having Evan Morris out there. What was that decision?
Yeah, he back kicked in the stands. He may be our kickoff guy from now on. He used to do that at Michigan State. And so we tried him out this week, and he kicked it out of the back of the end zone. So he may be our new kickoff specialist. Not that Boomer didn't do a good job. He did a great job. But being able to take some things off his leg, I know last year, got a little worn down second part of the year because of that. So we'll see what happens. That may be the biggest kicker in college football.
Coach, you went to Honor Palmer's Children's Hospital last week, and you guys were wearing the new decals on the helmet. How important is, good character on this team?
Yeah, that's who we are as a program. I'm real proud of our players. What a great cause. And using their influence in a positive way. That's what we talk about. And, that's a part of our community and real important to us, and I couldn't be more proud of our players.
What defensive players stood out to you in terms of stopping the quarterback's running ability?
Yeah, I think it was a collective effort, really. We knew their quarterback, he ran last week, did a lot of quarterback draws and things like that, so we knew we had to control him. He was a junior college quarterback. I think he won a championship, so it really started stopping him running the football, and I think for the most part we did a good job with that.
Coach, it was a complete team effort tonight, rushing, receiving, special teams. I noticed that you're using Xavier Townsend more like a Swiss Army knife. He did a little bit of everything tonight. Is that something that you see going forward with the season?
There's no doubt. We got to find ways to get him touches. I mean, he's electric. I think everybody sees that, and so he's a dynamic player, and he's a really good return guy too.
Coach, you talked about improving from game 1 and game 2. What was the difference in the KJ Jefferson you saw last week versus the KJ Jefferson you saw tonight?
I think more than anything is just comfortable. He had a really good week of practice, like I said, and just understanding kind of the nuances of a new offense. He's learning his third new offense in college football. He's learning his new teammates and everything that goes with it. And he's a veteran guy, and I thought he had a very quality game tonight.
Coach, last season you stated that in the Big 12 you need to bring your lunch every single game. What steps are you taking to ensure that you do so?
Well, we'll find out where we're at next week. The steps we've taken is strain the crud out of our team, in fall camp, be more physical, tackle better and everything that goes with it, and just our overall approach. And we'll see where we're at now. We're going to play probably one of the better teams in our league at their place next week. So we'll find out a whole lot.
What sort of elements do you think Nigel Kelly brings to this defensive line as far as what he was able to produce tonight throughout the entire game?
Yeah, I think he had a lot of tackles. I think he was in on that fumble right there. So he's a guy that's played, and I think he had a very quality game.
Guess you guys had challenges on the road last year. Obviously, what will you guys hope to do and learn from these first 2 games that you guys can take on that road?
Well, I think
really helpful.
what I'm hoping that we have a more experienced team than we had last year, and then when we went on the road in conference, we didn't have our starting quarterback either. I'm really hoping that those things will help us, our experience. A few more playmakers on defense, I think, will help too. And so, but we're still growing as a team. Anytime you have 50 players, new players, you're still growing, and that's where we are. We're progressing. We got to keep trending. That's our big challenge. And that's what I told our guys. But I'm real proud of them tonight. We're 2-0, and we took care of business tonight. I think for the most part, I don't think there was any major injuries or anything like that. So we're trending in the right direction. But like I said, we'll figure out exactly where we're at this week.
Coach, with Xavier returning the ball the way he has been, with Colton hitting the 50-yard field goal, Mitch punting the ball with inside the 20 with consistency, obviously against lesser opponents, but would you say this could be the most confident you've been in special teams for a while?
That was a big-time kick Boomer made, that 50-yard field goal right there, and you think about the way we ended our season right there, and he is back, there's no doubt. And Mitch flipping the field a couple times, and every time X gets in his hands, he's got a chance. We just got to continue build upon that return game.
Back on the penalties, what's most frustrating about the number that you had tonight of penalties?
About the penalties? Yeah, just like that we had them. More than anything. I think we had, what did we have, a hold one time? We had a face mask on a catch, a 40-yard catch, which is pretty bizarre, but we got to do a better job with that. Had a holding penalty. So we got to be more disciplined. That was really the takeaway offensively. I didn't feel great about with the 5 penalties. We got to clean that up.
I know you'll learn a lot more next week, but what do you think you've learned about this team through the first 2 games?
I like our team. I like our players. I like what I've seen chemistry-wise so far, picking each other up. But like I said, we're just getting started, but so far so good.
Gus, you went with Dylan Risk after KJ. What was the decision on that, not using Jakuri at the
point? We did. But we started out with Dylan, and we used him late. We're going to play them both if something happens. And Dylan's had a great week and a half of practice and doing some really good things, and so that's was our plan going in, that if something happened to KJ or we're fortunate enough to get him out, to play both those guys. And Dylan did a good job executing, and then I thought Brown did a good job when he was in there too.
Yeah, it looked like Deshaun Pace was absent the first drive. Is there any explanation for that?
No, there's no explanation. He went back in there, I guess, the second drive.